What's up, my 1111 YouTube friends? Cheers. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Well, yesterday, Trent and I spent no less than 10 hours in the shop cleaning. It needed a deep clean before we worked anymore on Jason. So I've been asked a lot of comments and on Facebook and on YouTube. Where's Jason? Where's Jason? What do you guys got going on with Jason? Quit with all the little short videos you're throwing up. We want some videos of Jason. Just haven't been much to show you about Jason. I actually worked on it for a little bit today. Yeah, me and Trenton had to go deer hunting. We went and sat up on the Canadian border for 5 days. Me, Trent, and my daughter Megan also did a little deer hunting, a little R&R. No cell service. It was kind of nice, just detached from everything for 5 straight days. And then yesterday we cleaned the shop, and oh my God, I took a whole truckload of garbage out of here. I'm pretty good about throwing stuff in the garbage can, but Trenton's a little bit better. He went in our engine room and filled the trash can full of stuff back there, and I, of course, had to start looking through there. He's like, Dad, just stop. I'm doing you a favor. Quit looking in the trash can. So I stopped. I seen something on the top I grabbed out of, but I didn't dig any further in there. So hopefully he didn't get rid of anything that we really needed. So I trust that he has good judgment on what we need to have and what we don't need to have. I'm standing in front of a new project here. Project Hothead is in the shop. Something Trenton picked up. I think it was the summer, or was it the spring, Trenton? Fall. Yeah, he picked it up this fall. I don't even remember what is this one, a 92? 92 RXL. Reason we're going to call it Project Hothead is the seller said, I think it's got a head gasket issue. And Trenton pulled compression on it. Yep, there's an issue on the mag side. There was antifreeze in the pipe. So that's leading us to believe that there is a head gasket issue. So today he pulled the engine out of it, got the engine on the floor. He's got everything sitting up here. He's actually going to be pulling it back out of the shop up to the shed until I can redo the engine on it, and then he'll bring the sled back down. But it's a pretty clean unit, decent hood on it. The seat was clean too, wasn't it, Trenton? Mm-hmm. Let's pull the cover off the seat. That's something we have to do in this shop. Cat loves seats. So yeah, the nice two-piece still in 92. They had the two-piece seat. The 93 they went with the one-piece seat. So nice seat on it, nice colors on it. I think it was just one family owned. We bought it from the original, his dad owned it. So we bought it from the son that had it from his dad. So nice sleds to buy when you can buy them from a one family. So yeah, we'll build the engine on that one, put it back together. So that's Project Hothead right there. Project Jason. Just like I said, I did a little bit of work today to it. And I got the engine sitting in it, got all the new motor mounts in so I could bolt the straps to the engine and set it in. Actually, one of the reasons why he brought Project Hothead down here was so I could do some measuring on that so I could mock this engine in place. We got to remember, this is a 96 XCR chassis, and we're putting a 650 in it. Actually, a very straightforward, this is probably the easiest engine swap I have ever done. I had to do one modification. One. All I had to do was grind the embossment off the bottom of the housing right here where the bolt goes in for the recoil. Now, whether if I use this bolt or not on the recoil is to be determined if I can even get it in when it comes to that time. I have plenty of 650s out there that have just the 4 bolts in them right there, because trying to get that bolt in anyways is a complete bitch, and usually I lose my patience and I don't put the bolt in because I feel that the 4 is more than enough, and I think it would stay on with 2 if you ask me. So that might not even get used. But anyways, that's all you have to do, because the deal is this brace right here on the bulkhead sits up higher on a monoblock than it does on this 650 engine. So that's why I had to grind the bottom off. But otherwise, the straps sit in there the same. The engine is positioned correctly. We did some clutch aligning. We threw our mock-up clutch. Actually, this is the clutch we're going to run. That's that NOS clutch that Trenton bought. I pulled the starter gear off. Had to use a MAP gas torch to put a little heat on the aluminum to soften up the red Loctite, and then the bolts came right out. But we wanted to run a later 90s aluminum bearing retainer back here. And so this is all mock-up, and that's why you have to do mock-up. And let me find it, it's right here. So if we added this back there with that like that, and then your bearing's sitting in there like that, and then the other one actually it's round with the grease zerk and stuff. By the time you added all that back there, it was too much. Then I would have had to re-drill the motor mounts, shift the motor out this way to line up with the clutch. Seems like a lot of dicking around for really no advantage as far as I'm concerned. This system worked. We'll have to run the lock collar on the bearing here. That worked. Got the grease zerk up there so we can still grease the bearing. And by the time I took all that extra stuff out, slid the secondary on, I took and slid my clutch alignment tool on, and we have the proper clutch setback, and everything's happy. So that's the way we're going to roll with it. There's no sense in trying to reinvent the wheel right now on this, because it would have just caused headaches with the engine mounts and no reason to do it. So that's why mock-up is so important when you're trying to switch different engines and different bearings and just trying to do different things. But like I said, this is the easiest engine swap I have done on any of our builds to date. This is the easiest one. And that's why there was no reason to re-drill the straps. If I would have had to re-drill the straps regardless, then I would have stuck with that aluminum bearing retainer back there for the extra support, because I'm already drilling new holes. So I might as well drill them to accommodate that. But to redo these straps, because when I drill the holes and I plug weld the other holes, no reason to go down that road. So I got the chain case sitting in for the alignment stuff. Trenton did put the shocks in now. They look incredibly amazing in here. Just loving the way things are coming together. We had a steering rod issue, and yesterday when we were cleaning, I found the steering rods that I knew I had, because here's the ultralight, Northern Lights ultralight front end kit. It comes with steering rods, and we had them. They're pretty light. They're a little bit lighter than stock. They're really cool. Trenton polished the one out, but the Heims were stuck in them. And I tried everything I could to get the Heim to come out without taking the thread, and it did. So, wah on that. So now we're down to using the stock steering rods, and he's going to blast them and polish them out, because we feel like they need to have a little bit of polishing up here to go along with the sway bar. So that's where we're at on that, guys. I think we might have, I don't think this was in last time. We did get, this is another Northern Lights product there, that steering post support with the grease zerk on it. And we have our bars on it now with the bar pad and stuff, doing some more mock-up on that. We're almost to the point where we can actually start bolting things together permanently now that I have the engine mocked in there, to make sure that everything was going to go right there. We did put the belly pan on temporarily to see how it was going to fit. And this is for an 8-inch suspension, and we're running with an extra 10 bulkhead here. So there was some slight differences up in this area, and I think we'll attach the bottom somehow, whether if it's with Clecos or even some small machine screws to hold the bottom in place. And I think we'll take the heat gun, maybe 2 of them, and start warming up the front section and pushing down and trying to make things fit to try and make this NOS pan work. I think we can do it. I'm not scared. I think it's going to work out. Let me find my brewski. Trent, why don't you run outside and I'll open up the door for you. Got something. We're going to pull the boss in, and I want to talk about the boss a little bit. Hold that thought. I got this from Austin out at Heydays. He gave me one of his can coolers. We met up, got to meet face to face and speak. Austin and I have spoke many of times through Messenger and actually a face-to-face meeting. So that was kind of nice. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Got a couple questions at the end of this video, so please stick around. Yep, that's a different boss now. I did do what I said I was going to do, and I wish I would have done a video of the other boss once we got it all done, because it did look absolutely incredible after I finished it. But I did mention that I would have liked to, or I wanted to upgrade to a newer machine. And like all the planets lined up in a couple day period all of a sudden. I had sold my Arctic Cat, which I wish I would have done a video of that Arctic Cat because the thing was absolutely beautiful. 710 original miles on that Arctic Cat. I sold the Boss, very low miles on that machine also. It was clean, beautiful looking. I put it up for sale and it sold immediately. Right along with the Arctic Cat, sold immediately too. So I pulled all my money and upgraded to a 2023 570 Boss. And this is by far the newest Polaris I've ever owned and by far the most expensive. But the ride on this thing is absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness, you can go across a freshly plowed field and not feel a bump. It is amazing compared to the old machine. It's all shaft drive. It's got like golf cart mode, so only one side drive so you don't tear up your lawn. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's got power steering. I got it set on the medium setting, so it's got low, medium, high. On the assist on the power steering, you can steer it with one finger. Yeah, so we used it last week and we hauled deer out with it. We hauled stands in and out of the woods with it. 3 of us were in there quite often. Me, my daughter, and Trenton were in there. And I think deer one time even. There was 3 of us and a deer in there, I think. So yeah, love it. I love the upgrade. I bought it from a retired Polaris worker. They buy a new one every year. They've had like 12 of these things now. And they buy a new one every year and then they sell their old one. And so it had 190 miles on it when I bought it. It's got just over 200 on it now. She had an interesting story about these 6x6s. She said the first year that they built them, she actually helped assemble the 6 that they built that year. And they all went to dealerships and the response was incredible. So the next year they went into full production on them. I don't know if she mentioned what year it was. If anybody knows, post it in the comments so that we know what the first year was. And she remembers building them in the loading dock area at Polaris, and they were like hand grinding the diamond plate boxes to make them look nice. And yeah, she remembers them building the first year of them. She worked there for 35 years, so she put a few years in Polaris. So it was really fun talking to her and her husband. So another thing in the comments, so I got to backtrack a little bit. So my last video asked a question. One was, what did I pay for the 650 that I built Wet Basement out of, and what was different in the shop? Well, what was different in the shop? I had all the shop bar lights on. That was what was different in the shop. I kept panning around too, and nobody picked up. Only one person actually picked up. They said Bud Light snowmobile sign. Yep, that one was lit, but the Budweiser, everything in the bar was lit. The old Milwaukee sign, everything was lit. So that was what I was looking for an answer, was that had all the bar lights on in the shop. Some people guessed the stack of plywood. Well, that's been gone for over a year. Trent and I got rid of that last year. And the other question was, what did I pay for that 650 I built Wet Basement out of? What did I pay? It's going to blow your mind because some people were so far off. And there was like 3, if I remember right. Dave Dobrisky was one of them. Nailed it right on the dollar amount exactly. And I think there was 2 other people. And I'm sorry, I don't remember which ones you were. If you did, comment in this video that you were one of them that guessed it. But it was $350 I paid for a driving into the trailer, 91 Indy 650 with triple pipes on it. $350. Yep, you heard that correct. But that's what they were going for. Trent and I were buying 650s back then, 8-9 years ago, and we were buying them for a couple $100 and riding them the next day. You know, you might have to clean the carbs or throw a belt or whatever on, but we're riding it the next day. That was before, it was before a lot of things. And I have my suspicions of what drove the prices of everything straight to the moon. And I'll share that theory one day. But so in the video, in this one, I want you to comment, take a wild guess. What's the date that Trent and I are going to put fire in the hole of this thing? When this thing's done, what date do you think this thing's going to be done? Fire in the hole. Might not be riding on the snow, but I'm just looking for fire in the hole. Built and fire in the hole. Give me a date. See if you guys can guess that. And then I got the hood in here. I'm using a hood. This was another cheap 650 buy. I think this was off of an 89, wasn't it, Trenton? 90? 90? This is off of 90, I believe. I bought a pair of 650s. One of them was this carbed 90, and the other one was a 91 RXL. And it was the first Indy that I actually did like a semi-restore on. 91 RXL, I did it. That was before my YouTube time. And the thing was beautiful when it was done, and I sold it for big money. That was like 10 years ago when I did that. But I bought a pair of them, and both of them had triple pipes. The carbed one ran, the RXL did not. It had a bad cylinder on it. I bought the pair for $500. Once again, that was what they were going for, but both of them had triple pipes on them. I still have the one set of pipes in the shed off of the one, and the other set, I don't even want to admit this, but I camelized them. I used two of them to make twin pipes on a TXL. Oh, they're beautiful, beautiful pipes. Oh no, the one set of pipes ended up on Bastard. I put the one set of pipes on Bastard because they had no rust, no nothing. I had them ceramic coated and they ended up on Bastard. So that's all I got for now, guys. Let me crack down my brewski one more time. Let's do a cheers. Give me a date on Jason when it's going to have fire in the hole. And I'll be honest about it. And yeah, I paid $350 for that 91 with triple pipes, and I paid $500 for a pair of them, and both of them had triple pipes on them. But that's what they were going for. But 8, 9, 10 years ago, that's what they sold for. So, cheers, everybody. We'll keep plugging away on this one. I'm going to actually build the engine now that we've done the mock-up, and we know everything's going to fit. Now I can actually build the engine for it. So in the next video, the engine will be all assembled. And I got a very special sled I'm going to go look at in the next day or two. So I'll post that video up, and I don't even want to drop a teaser on it, but it's nearby, and we'll check it out. So thanks, everyone. Project Hothead.